Rise of the Ronin is just a short wait away, and our man Liam Croft has played through the first few hours of the game. Let's see how this Team Ninja experience is shaping up in our Rise of the Ronin PS5 preview. After honing its craft across the Ninja Gaiden series, 2 Neo games, and the recent Wolong Fallen Dynasty, you can hardly call Rise of the Ronin a coming out party for Team Ninja. This is a vastly experienced developer that knows what it's doing and has done so to good success for almost 30 years. The studio is a household name among enthusiasts, but what if it did make a grab for the mainstream audience? Bankrolled by Sony, its new title Rise of the Ronin feels like exactly that. The hardcore don't need to worry though, Rise of the Ronin is still a Team Ninja game through and through. But what we will say is that it's just quite a bit more accessible and approachable than past efforts. With 3 difficulty options to pick from, a lot of checkpointing and clear tutorialization, we died just once during the first 4 hours this preview allows us to discuss. It feels like a Team Ninja experience in essentially every facet, just with the difficulty scaled down. With a vast, colourful and historical open world alongside it, Rise of the Ronin is also far bigger than anything the studio out of Tokyo has done in the past. A linear tutorial sets up your 2 custom characters and introduces the streamlined combat system. Then you're able to explore a gigantic landmass packed full of your typical activities you'd expect of an open world game. Off the back of many mission-based titles though, this is a noticeable step forward for Team Ninja. And based on what we've played so far, these tweaks to the outfit's formula have paid off for a mostly more enjoyable experience. Those returning from past titles like Neo and Wolong Fallen Dynasty will find a familiar combat system to master, while newcomers will be charmed by the big open world and its clash of East and Western cultures. It's been an experience that's grown on us the more we played. Every session has been better than the last, for the most part. What's been most intriguing is seeing how Team Ninja has adapted its combat system for a less masochistic audience, while still incorporating some light Dark Souls features. On the standard difficulty, combat is, on the whole, quite a bit easier compared to the studio's past games. Your protagonist has more health and stamina, while normal enemies have less. You have access to additional tools like the grappling hook and expanded traversal options, while common foes keep their feet firmly planted on the ground. You have a clear advantage this time around, which moves the experience more towards a usual action-adventure title rather than an Elden Ring. Still, you'll continue to feel that From Software inspiration at select points. Veiled Edge banners are effectively bonfires for storing your health and items while respawning select enemy types. However, since standard checkpoints are a thing in Rise of the Ronin, you won't always pick the action back up from one of them if you die. They're really just there as an option this time around. Then enemy encounters generally feel like Sekiro's Shadows Die Twice, again though with the difficulty turned down. Combat is just as much about clearing an enemy's HP bar as it is taking away all of their stamina, which is known as ki in this game. Through well-timed parries and deflections, you can leave an enemy open for a killer blow as their stamina gauge drops to naught. The good thing though is this tactic is just one option. You could also time your dodges correctly and land critical hits, or simply brute force an encounter through blocks and retaliations. It's not a complete walk in the park, you'll still need to keep your wits about you to a good degree. However, after 2 generations of brutal From Software and Team Ninja titles and all of the copycats in between, Rise of the Ronin feels quite comfortably the most accessible of the lot. The open world appears mostly straightforward also, though there is some amount of depth to it. In the early hours, you have to work to increase a bond level for each individual area, which reveals new icons and activities in that region after ranking up. With rewards to accrue, you're incentivized to invest in every area so you can reveal and then tick off all of its quests and optional pursuits. There are cats to find, photographs to take, shrines to pray at, and fugitives to kill in the first handful of districts. They're the sort of side tasks typical to an open world game, but have proved more enjoyable distractions to the boilerplate main missions so far. Interestingly, that concept of a bond level in each area of the game carries over into some of the characters you meet and converse with. It appears that you'll be able to develop relationships with people you meet and nurture them into companions or potentially love interests, with rewards to be had when your bond levels up. Having unlocked a home base in Yokohama, you're able to converse with them and give them gifts in order to boost that connection that you share. Since we're only a handful of hours into the game, at the time of recording we haven't really seen any proper relationships blossom yet, but we're eager to experiment more with the feature and see its possibilities flourish. What was clear from the off though is how Sony's involvement has lent the experience a presentational shine not seen in past Team Ninja titles. From the flashy big budget opening movie to the story cutscenes complete with letterboxed black borders, Rise of the Ronin is a step above anything the developer has done before from a visual perspective. The trade-off is it makes the moments the game isn't at its graphical best all the more glaring. Texture pop-in out in the open world is a constant, and the larger locations like Yokohama appear almost desolate with few NPCs roaming the streets. We wish there were more, because the few you run past in built-up cities hint at the clash between Eastern and Western cultures that Rise of the Ronin is all about. Ambient dialogue speaks of the tension in the air, whilst buildings can go from distinctly Japanese to of blatant American origin. It makes exploring these places so much more fascinating, as you go from one street your custom protagonist could call home to another where they feel almost alien. Given there are quite a few more cities for us to visit throughout the game, we're excited to see the experience explore this culture clash more. Compared to Team Ninja's past titles, Rise of the Ronin feels bigger, grander and deeper. But is it actually better? At the moment, it's difficult to say. The experience has proved consistently decent to good in its opening couple of hours, but it's yet to really knock our socks off with an impressive mission or exhilarating sequence that showcases why Sony decided to take the game under its wing. While some elements certainly show promise, the 4 hours of play this preview affords us to discuss publicly aren't hitting on the same level as other PS5 exclusives. Right now, Rise of the Ronin is good, but it isn't great. There you have it, Rise of the Ronin launches on PS5 on March 22nd, and you can expect our full review around then, so be sure to subscribe to the channel to see if things change for us the further we delve into this expansive RPG. Remember to leave a comment letting me know what you think of the game from our preview, and if you enjoyed it, leave a like, that always helps. Anyway, thank you for watching everyone, and until next time, I've been Aiden, and this has been Push Square.